Here with the jubilant President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa. Welcome to Sri Lanka, sir.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful. It's always wonderful to be in Sri Lanka.
Now, it's almost a little unfair. You've had your Mandela moment, lifting the World Cup.
Yes.
Fairly early into your presidency.
Yes.
How did it feel like yesterday?
Well, it felt like a replay of the time when President Nelson Mandela lifted the cup in 1995. It was a replay of that. It was a huge moment for South Africans in terms of its nation building and consolidating a nation effect. And yesterday when we won, it had the same effect back home. As the entire nation of 57 million people were behind the Springboks right across the length and the breadth of the country. Everyone, as you know, we are a diverse nation, and everyone, white, black, Indian, colored, everyone was behind the Springboks, rooting for the Springboks to win. And in a way, people wanted this win because they knew what impact it would have in lifting our nation to a higher level of national cohesion, of appreciating our diversity. And the beauty of it all was that this is the first time that we win a World Cup with such a diverse team. The team has been transformed. We have a black captain who grew up in the townships, comes from a poor family, and he's risen to the pinnacle of world rugby. And all that has happened from South Africa, the ground that Nelson Mandela laid in 1995. And with the beginning of our democracy, lives on, because we're a nation that's changing, that's transforming, that's always seeking to reach for the best of human capability and human development. So this win was far more important than just lifting that Webb Ellis Cup. It was more important in lifting the country to a higher level. So that is the cup that we won yesterday.
Not just South Africa, but the world. It was important to the world as well. Going back to the victory itself, South Africa has a history of apartheid.
Yeah.
But would it be fair to say that democracy did what apartheid couldn't? You have 3 World Cups as soon as the curtain of apartheid was lifted. Why and how come?
Well, apartheid held us back as a nation and as a people. It actually prevented the entire nation from being part of the world community. It prevented us from displaying our talents. Because of apartheid, we were excluded from world sporting events. We were excluded also from just ensuring that talented young South Africans could reach to the top.
Yeah.
Under apartheid, Siya Kholisi, the captain, could never have been the captain of a winning team. And in fact, the team could never have been a winning team because it could never have been as diverse with the various talents that come from all parts of the country as it has now. So apartheid was an abomination. It was not just a terrible racial policy. It was a human destroyer. It destroyed talent, it destroyed opportunity. But democracy has lifted us out of that terrible situation and has repositioned South Africa to be a South Africa that is part of the community of nations, but part of the sporting world. And I guess in the end, as you correctly say, this victory is also important for the world because the world can see how a nation can rise from the ashes of a terrible system, reposition itself in its truly transformed nature, which is exactly what this is. So this victory is much sweeter than the 1995 victory, in that it consolidates and builds on what Nelson Mandela did, but it is also sweeter because we are reaching out to what we've always wanted to be: a united nation, non-racial, where the race of anybody does not count, where your origin does not count, where the language you speak does not count, where the religion you practice does not count, and that what only counts is your being a South African. And this is where we are now. But we want to do more. We want to consolidate more so that the team in further World Cups is truly representative of the demographics of our country. And the good thing is that the administrators of the sport have seen the benefit. They've seen the benefit of achieving that goal. So we are on a winning path. And the Springboks will never ever be held back by any policy going forward into the future.
That's wonderful to hear. There's no doubt it's a transcendent moment in sports. And as you quite rightly pointed out, it has changed the fabric of your people. But also, in a sense, does it give you a little more responsibility, a little more weight on your shoulders? Because now you have not just a responsibility to your country, but perhaps to everybody else around the world is looking at you for inspiration, motivation, for leadership.
Well, this moment lifts the weight on my shoulders, but then it also puts on another weight, maybe a lighter weight, hopefully, because indeed we will be expected to lead. We will be expected to lead on transformation. With so much racism still prevailing in the world, particularly in sport, this victory is a clear demonstration that racism in sport, in life, belongs to the dustbin of history. That all of us human beings, we are born with the same image in the eyes of God. We are all equal, we are all capable, and we need to be given that space. So I'm hoping that this win will demonstrate to all and sundry in the world, particularly those who still harbor racist tendencies of looking down upon other people, that this will just melt it away and obliterate it, so that we have sports around the world, whatever code they are, athletics, football, cricket, you name it, it should just be wide open for anybody to participate in, but more importantly for anybody to lead in, of whatever color, religion, origin, language, whatever, because that is the beauty of humanity. That is where we display this wonderful gift that God has given us of being human beings. And so we need to display that humanity, the compassion and the care for one another, and the ability to want others to succeed. And this is what is important for us.
Absolutely. However, as far as success is concerned, I certainly hope that the South African team enjoys less success when it comes to cricket against Sri Lanka.
Well, let us not declare war on each other. What I prefer is that sometimes you must win, and sometimes we must win. So we both, Sri Lanka and South Africa, must wish each other the best as we win and win together, and lose less together.
Absolutely. Ultimately, humanity and unity wins.
That indeed.
Your Excellency, just a few, one or two final questions. Your message to young people watching this interview right now, young people in Sri Lanka, young people around the world, particularly in Sri Lanka, we're at a critical stage in our history.
Well, I think young people need to educate themselves about Siya Kholisi's life. Siya Kholisi, the captain of the Springboks, where he came from, proves in the end that it's not where you come from that matters. It's not your background that matters. And it is not even the challenges and difficulties that you were born with that matter. What matters, as Nelson Mandela said, is your determination to succeed. Now, I'll say to young people all over the world that if you look at Siya Kholisi's life, his determination, his complete commitment on succeeding at a career, at a sport that he had chosen, is a great lesson for young people. That you commit yourself, you stay focused, and you seek to improve yourself on an ongoing basis, because that is what he did. Every day he sought to be better and better. But what is also important, he never forgot his roots. He never forgot where he came from. He consistently went back to the place where he was born, where he grew up, and has sought to lift also those that he grew up with out of that terrible situation that he was born into. And that is what is important, that young people must always seek to support others, to help others as you go up. So take those that you were born with and grew up with along with you as you succeed. But the important thing is never, ever, ever give up.
Your Excellency, the jubilation, the triumph part, one thing's clear. Madiba, or Mr. Nelson Mandela, is
Madiba indeed, yes.
Madiba is somewhere up there looking down on you and your people with happiness and pride.
Yes.
Thank you for honoring me and us with this interview, and we wish you and your country all the very best and every success.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.